Yo people, what's good? It's been a minute. I've been figuring some things out. I've been making some changes, and that's what I'm here to talk about. So first of all, I'm starting to trade futures, and I think it's the direction I want to go in. My boy Henry, he moved to futures, I want to say 3, 4, maybe 5 months ago. And he was telling me about it. We used to speak every day because we used to trade EU and GU, basically the same. We would end up in the same trades all the time. And he moved over and he was telling me about how it moves and this and that and the next. And at first I thought, you know what, let me stick with what I know, which is forex. But then I realized I've been getting cooked on forex. I haven't been doing as well on forex. And I don't want to sit here and make excuses because obviously there's people who still been making good money. But I'll show you what I realized. And what I realized was, let me bring up my charts. What I realized was on EU and GU, if we go monthly, realistically, we've just been moving sideways since June 2025. And we can drop down on lower time frames, but the weekly has just been bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down. Even on daily, yes, there's trades in here. Yes, people are still making good money. But for me, I found myself, because of the way we're just ranging and consolidating, I found myself like not being able to be as confident in my bias because I can't use the daily and I've got to use the 4 hour because we're ranging so much on the weekly and so forth. So I use my higher time frame as a lower, or I use the 4 hour as my higher time frame now. Because it's ranging, we could look bullish, right? And then we just tank. And I get stopped out. That doesn't mean that my analysis was incorrect. That doesn't mean my trade was a bad trade. It doesn't mean any of that. But because we're in such a range, anything can kind of happen. It's not as consistent, or price action is not as consistent when you're ranging, because you might get halfway up to the range and then it just decides, you know what, we're not actually going to go to the top. We're going to go back down. And then it bounces from the bottom and then... Anyway, for me and how I traded, this price action that we've had for the past, I want to say year or 8 months, hasn't been on my side and it hasn't been working for me. On top of that, with forex, when Trump's just been tweeting off the place, fam, and there's been a lot of stuff going on in the world, economically, and what's the other word? Just news-wise, fundamentally is what I'm trying to say. And when Trump tweets, bro, or when something happens, I've noticed it really affects the way price is moving on EU, GU, and on forex. Obviously, it affects the futures market as well, and it affects stocks, it affects gold, it affects everything. But it has so much more of an impact on market structure in forex, in my opinion. So we might be really bullish, clearly bullish for on a daily and a 4 hour. So then we get a bearish liquidity sweep. I look for buys, setup perfect, 9 out of 10 setup, whatever you want to say. And then Trump tweets or something happens fundamentally and we completely tank through that through my analysis. I lose the trade, even though the trade was a perfect trade in terms of technical analysis and market direction and bias and everything like that. And then we go bearish for a few days and then something else happens and then we shoot back bullish, and then there's just been too many things and the market's being too manipulated, in my opinion, from where I'm standing on forex, to find consistency in my trading. So I've decided to move over to futures. I'm still going to monitor the forex markets because that's where my roots are, and if we decide, if the market comes out of this range and something else happens fundamentally to where we can start actually seeing some clean price structure, then I might jump back on because I've still got my funded accounts. So yeah, that's that. Second of all, I'm here to discuss the NQ or the ES trade I took today. So let's get that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to start every time I get a winning trade or a losing trade that I can learn from, I'm going to document it, just upload it, just so I can get some more content out on the page flowing. At least 2 videos a week. And if I'm talking about every trade I get in or every significant change that happens to my P&L, I'll make a video. So NQ ES I was bullish on. As you can see, let me go into replay mode. We broke this high, so now I'm bullish. Let me mark that out for you just so you can understand what I'm talking about. This high got broken here. Boom. We are now bullish on the 4 hour. So then we come into this morning. This morning, London session opens here, and we create this 15-minute fair value gap. I place a template down, obviously, and we keep respecting this 15-minute fair value gap. New York doesn't open yet. New York opens later. However, when this was happening, I thought, okay, cool. Initially, I saw us push into this fair value gap and then push away. Very strong, very nice price movement. But we didn't break this high, and we came all the way back down. Notice when we came back down, we also took this minor liquidity level from people who already had entered buys from this fair value gap. So people have now been stopped out. Liquidity has been taken from this zone. I've now seen a 3-minute area here, and I'm waiting for this 3-minute high to get broken. Let's go BOS. There you go. I'm waiting for this 3-minute zone to get broken. Let's continue playing. Price breaks this 3-minute high over here. No, it doesn't. It happens right now. There we go. Price breaks this 3-minute high. We created equal lows to this low over here, which now gives me, it either means that these two lows now are equal low, or they are equal lows. I'm waffling. It either means that this is a strong low to put your stop loss below, or it means that this is now a strong point that price is going to magnetize to take more liquidity from the market. My thought process was, okay, we've broken structure, we've already taken liquidity, we might have enough fuel to move higher. I then saw this 3-minute order block. I placed my limit on this 3-minute order block, and I put my TP to Asian range highs. I ended up closing my trade just at 1.5. Let me actually fix this. I put my TP slightly above Asian range because we had this daily high up here. I put my TP at daily high. However, coming into New York, we ended up tapping me in just before New York, and we ended up pushing. Now price got up to here, up to my TP at Asian range highs initially, and I didn't close because I thought, you know what, I want to take it all the way to daily high. And then I realized New York's about to open up, and on forex, when a new session opens up, there can be some price manipulation. So I thought, let me secure the profits on this because I don't know how price manipulates when a new session opens on futures. So I ended up closing around 3.5 RR, just above Asian range highs. And yeah, this netted us, I can't remember how much on the account, but put us up about, I risked 0.5, it put us up about 1.68 or 1.7% on the account. I have taken some losers because I started on Monday. This is my second win on the account. I've got a 25k Lucid Flex account, and that's what I'm trading at the moment. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and there'll be a lot more trade breakdowns coming because anytime, like I said, I get in a trade, I'm going to talk about it, document it, and upload it. Manners Henri.